Hi everyone, good afternoon and welcome back once again to the How to Craft Network channel. My name is Claire Manning from Thirsty Brush, and I must thank you first of all for coming back to the channel after a fabulous release of our Thirsty Brush Christmas collection Thursday just gone. So if you missed it, do catch up. If you missed out on any products, don't worry, they will be on Create and Craft on the 14th. If you are new here and you haven't been before, subscribe below and hit the bell and you'll be notified of all our lovely crafty videos. So I'm going to do a technique for you today. I'm just going to run through a couple of cards and show you the stamp set that I'm going to be using because it is from that Winter Wonderland collection that I showed you on Thursday. And I was so pleased that you all loved it as much as I did, and the musical notes ones as well. So I've had a little bit of a look now to see what's still available on the Stamps by Me website. So at this point of recording, this is still available. I do apologise if it's gone since, but like I say, don't worry, it will be coming back anyway on Create and Craft. So if we have a look, I've got the Winter Wish set, and this is stamps and dies, the beautiful Fernando fawn, hand drawn by myself, and then you get these lovely embellishment stamps that go onto his antlers, so he can be plain or he can be embellished up as you like, and the little bunnies. So let me just show you a few cards, and then I'm actually going to do something completely different with this set that doesn't involve Fernando at all. So I just wanted to show you a few that if this was one of the sets that you were after, so you can see what kind of things you can make. There's Fernando with the background Woodland Wonder stamp set, embossed and inked, and he hasn't got any embellishment there on his antlers, that's just die cuts behind. There he is with some of the embellished little leaves on in some of our Thirsty Brush Luminosity embossing powder. And how cute is he with a little bow and Brianna bunnies there. There's the bunnies on their own, which work just as well, although they do a little bit look like meerkats there, don't they? I just cut out and put some watercolour on loads of them and layered them on some of our Thirsty Brush Christmas papers that are coming to Create and Craft as well. And there's the other card that I made on Thursday that's got the snowy stencil in the background. You can just make out the glitter from that. And again, he's got those glittery leaves. But actually, in the set, you get a little tree as well. So I shared a card on Instagram last week. This card here that just used the tree. So just to show you that although the deer is absolutely beautiful, you can build scenes using that tree as well. And I added some texture to it. So I want to be able to show you how I did that. I was hoping to be able to do it on the live show on Thursday. But not to worry, we ran out of time because it was so busy. But now we've got the time to do it here in the studio for you. So I've got a piece of white card, and that whole card was made just with the one stamp, apart from the sentiment, of course. I pop this card in and hold it down with my magnets. So I'm going to position the tree just in the middle for now. Start wherever you like. And I've got some green ink pads in a few different shades, going from kind of light to dark, some of them real Christmassy, some of them real kind of foresty. These particular inks are all to new, which aren't on the Stamps by Me website. However, there's plenty of other inks like the distress inks and things like that on there. So do have a look if you need any ink pads. So I'm going to take one of the darker ones first, and I'm going to pop that straight onto all over that tree. Now it's up to you. You can stamp it out like that, and because the ink starts to pool, it already gives that kind of fir tree kind of texture. If you want it more solid, you can go in again and stamp and you will get a real solid image. Or you can even put your ink on, spritz it with a bit of water, and then you get a completely different look again. I'm not wiping off my ink. I'm just going to reposition the tree and go in with a slightly different colour. So you already get like a little second generation. So this is another one. I want to give the illusion that these trees are waiting to be cut down for Christmas trees. And you've got that illusion of light and depth throughout looking through the forest. Let's do another one here with another green. This one is a real kind of dirty, mossy green. And as you can see, I'm not even bothering cleaning the stamp in between because they all tone set together so well anyway if you've picked some kind of light to dark ones. And then two more either side in a really, really light. Again, overlapping. Try and do them at different heights if you can. Different shades, and it works really well. And one more over here. Might leave that. Oh, it's not quite dark enough for you to capture on the camera. I was going to say I'll leave that one second generation of that lighter, but it is a little bit too light for the bright lights in here. There we go. So you've got a kind of variation of all the different greens there. So that looks quite cool as it is. Can you see all the kind of textured look from, these are dye-based inks. So that's why it kind of pulls in that way, because it's a solid stamp. But we're going to take it a bit to the next level and add some texture. So I'm going to use some texture paste and imagine, did you ever, when you were a kid, decorate your Christmas tree, Christmas cake, sorry, at home with that royal icing and you use like a spatula? It's a very, very similar technique. Before I do put any paste on though, I'm just going to quickly run it over with my heat tool. The reason for that is that I don't want my texture paste to go green. So if that ink is slightly wet and I start smoothing on paste, it might pick up some of the colour. So if I just run this over, it will just make sure that ink's completely dry and my texture paste stays nice and white. That should be enough. Or you can just leave it aside if you haven't got a heat tool. So the next thing to do is grab some texture paste. You want one that's quite thick. I'm not sure if Tony's got this one on the website, but I'm sure you can check. This is the Ranger texture paste, and it's just opaque white. But any kind of similar thing will work as long as it's got that kind of thick, gloopy texture, and you'll see why. If it's too runny, it'll almost just act like a paint. So I've got a tiny, tiny bit on this small palette knife here, and I'm going to go into one of the trees, and I'm not even going to use the handle. I'm going to kind of hold it like this so I can really control what I'm doing. And I'm going to kind of smudge it from left to right. In smudges and lines down that tree. And it's going to look like snow has settled on those branches. Now the texture paste takes a little while to dry. So what that means is you can spend a bit of time adjusting it if you like. If you're not happy with where it's gone, just scrape it off and do it a bit more. But also it means that we can add some glitter on top. So let's try again with another tree. Just do that same technique again. Really forgiving. You haven't got to be perfect. Left to right. You want it right on the tip. It will follow the shape of the tree. And this creates not just texture and interest out of what is essentially just one stamp, I think it creates the kind of card. I imagine sending a card like this from like one house to another or one part of the family to another. You know, when you send multiple a card, say from it'd be me, my husband, the children, to say a neighbour or something like that, or a part of the family where I don't send individuals. It reminds me of that kind of card. I'm just going down again. Left to right. And you can see, because it sticks out, it even creates its own shadows. So just to show you the difference between you leaving the trees on its own and then adding the paste, I'll just finish off that one. It's really just about the technique rather than I've got a finished card to show you already from earlier. But because it's slow drying, you can play around with it a little bit more. So that's really showed then that, that height that it gives it. So to make it that real sparkly Christmas snow, I've just got some kind of white iridescent glitter. But it'd look great if you put gold or silver on it at all, as well. And while that paste is still damp, add that glitter on, and it really is beautiful. So before I mounted my other one onto the card, one last thing I did with the paste, and again you can use the glitter on top if you want to, is I just kind of grounded the cards so it didn't look like they were floating. There's my palette knife. I added a bit more and just kind of did a couple of swipes across the bottom of the trees, just so they've got like some ground to sit on. Again, it's more about texture than being able to see it because it's white on white. But actually this technique would work really nicely as well if you did on craft card, or if you've got a very light grey card, and it would make that white pop even more. So you could add some glitter as well to that bit. Let's see if you can see all that texture and glitter. Isn't that pretty? And see the depth that you get with it is absolutely phenomenal for just a tiny bit. Barely used any paste at all. And then all you need to do, I think, with that, I mean, of course you can add in Fernando and his little bunny friends, but I think that on its own is just a beautiful card. All those different shades of green, all that texture, all that height, and that beautiful white space of clean and simple cards that I absolutely love. So the last thing I wanted to mention before I go is that if you wanted to add some kind of snow splatters or anything else onto that card, or any of your other Christmas ones, lots of you have been asking me for my confetti ink white double up paint. I am super pleased to tell you that on my next Create and Craft show, it's going to be on the show. So this is the paint that everybody talks about, and basically it's a white watercolour paint, but that you can use on dark card. It's great for your splatters, leaves, snowmen, anything like that, because normally white watercolour doesn't show and it's too translucent. But this one acts like a watercolour, but you can use it on the dark cards. So thank you for your patience. I know loads of you have been waiting for ages for that. And as an extra treat on Create and Craft, as well as the launch of the whole Winter Wonderland collection, I've actually got some papers, special Christmas papers that go perfectly. Especially pick them to go with all the new designs, and you're going to absolutely love them. And they're going to be able to make really quick and simple cards, but then you can use them to layer up all your deer and your the musical tree that you all got. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you try that technique. If you do, take a photo and share it, hashtag ThirstyBrush, or pop it on the Thirsty Brush Brushettes Facebook group. I'd love to see you there. In the meantime, I'll be back on Thursday, 1 p.m. here on the How to Craft Network channel. Take care, guys. See you soon.